Hey, 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 Facebook. So I just shared this on my team page, and I thought that it might be something that could be of value to maybe some of you guys out there. I don't know. I'll give it a whirl and see if maybe it's something that you guys could benefit from. So welcome to my office. This is my new chair. I really like it. It's kind of comfortable. Anyways, I wanted to share with you guys, a lot of times we can feel like failures and feel like everyone's more successful than we are and that everyone else has it together and we're just falling apart, right? I know I felt that way. Give me a hands up if you felt that way too. So I wanted to kind of share some things that I've learned to get out of that place and out of that mindset. And I still have to continue to remind myself to do this. And I know there's probably some of you on here too who are feeling the same way and could benefit from it. So a few things that I have learned even more recently is that to change your state. So it's so important that we're changing our state and that we have control over that. We have complete control. So a lot of times, and this quote is from Pastor Steven Furtick, that we focus on everyone else's highlight reel and we're seeing our behind the scenes, right? Well, with Facebook and with all the social media out there, we can get really distracted on everybody else's highlight reel. Obviously, we see social media and people post the most glorious photos. I mean, I'm guilty of it. And we don't see anyone else's behind the scenes. And it can get really, really discouraging because that's all you're seeing. It's kind of like this commercial being pounded into your brain, right? And so that can get really distracting, and you can stop moving forward in your, where you're going and be like, oh no, I'm the worst, or oh, I suck, or I'm not being as successful as them, or that's they're so much better than me, or whatever is going on in your head. And it's so important that we really guard our focus. And I'm still practicing this. We can get caught up in this, through the day to day. But here's some things that you can do. And what I've learned really helps me. So music completely changes my state. Music can change literally the atmosphere. Especially we know with worship music, it can absolutely change the atmosphere. So if you get bad news, or if you're just feeling like everyone, your kids are bugging you or whatever it may be, and you're just getting so distracted and stuff, you can change your state with music. And I mean, put on some fun dancing music. We learned this from Tony Robbins. He's like, change your state and jump, jump, jump. Get your body moving, make an action to get out of that. And that has really helped. And then another thing that I found for me is changing the surroundings of the people who are in your life. And maybe just for that moment, but having those core group of people who speak the life into you when you are struggling. So if you have these people that you can be really open with and say, look, I am struggling, this is what's going on. And they can say, hold up, no. And they can speak that amazing life into you and bring you back up to where you should be. So you're up leveling with the people around you. I think that's really important, even if it's a core group of 3-4 people, but they should be speaking that into your life every single day. And for us, in the nutrition world that I'm in, is of course using the nutrition the way that it's designed. Every single time I'm using it the way it's designed, I feel lit up from the inside out, and I feel amazing. And when I'm not using it, I feel like, I get back into the toxicity and the ways that I felt before I started this nutrition. So for me, it's really important to be on top of that, and feeling at my best all the time is by using the product the way that it's designed. And I did have an e-shot before I got on this Facebook Live. So I'm feeling really great. So I think that's critical too. And then another thing is not only surrounding yourself with great music and great people and awesome nutrition, it's also to stop that that little voice in your head by filling your mind with books that are uplifting, sermons. I love Steven Furtick and Elevation sermons. Sometimes going to Bible studies if that's something that's going to lift you up and pour in, it could be a testimony, it could be a financial testimony, it could be a spiritual testimony, a health testimony that's just going to get you out of your funk and inspire you to propel you forward. So I think that's really important to just pour that in your mind every single day to get that going for you. And then another thing would be I was sharing this earlier and I'm like, my brain is farting. To really guard your focus. So you want to put your blinders on, like I said, and stop the comparison. If there are people on Facebook that you're like, okay, you don't ever want to be mean to anyone and be like, I can't look at your stuff because you're whatever. You want to just, you can hide people on Facebook and say, look, I can't see them. It's not helping my health. Like, I'm getting really distracted. I need to keep my focus. Just like horses in a race, like they have these blinders for a reason so they don't get sidetracked from the people on behind, like next to them. You are in a race with yourself. And that's so important, is to know that who you are racing with is you and who you were yesterday. You're not racing with the people next to you or the people in your job or whatever. You are in a race with you, and it's the success is all about, it's up to you, nobody else, right? So I think it's so important to put those blinders on and be very, very focused. And who have you helped today? So that was another thing. I'm gonna give another tip really quick. So when you get really like down about yourself, it's like selfish. So you're really focused on you, and you really need to, some things that can really help are pouring greatness into others. So messaging a few people and telling them why you are so inspired by them, or what you see in them and how much that they blessed your life or something. So pouring greatness into other people, maybe sending gratitude or a card to somebody, that can really change your state and where you're at, right? Adding value into people's lives. So it's really, really, it's helped me. Or serving somebody. I just heard a podcast yesterday. I'm going to shout out Chris Harder. He has this awesome podcast called For the Love of Money. And you guys, if you haven't heard it, I'll put it below. He's incredible and he inspires me. And so he was on his call the other day. He was saying, one of the people that he was interviewing was saying, you know, actually giving can kind of be a high. And it can get you into this place where you can, it gets you like your adrenaline going and excited. So give back. Find a way to give back for a charity that you really love. And God loves a cheerful giver. So I love to give, and sometimes I like to push it to be like, can I really give this much? And it's really exciting to see what God gives back. And so I just want to encourage you guys to find somebody, find a charity, find wherever you can to give back in some way, whether it's with your time, whether it's with monetary, or with just your words. I think it's really important, and that can change your state immediately. So I really want to encourage you guys to do that today. And I'll just recap really quick. So with your music, with what you're putting into your body, with the people that you're surrounding your life with, stay focused and put your blinders on. Don't get distracted with comparison, because it's really the root of it. Just destroys you, and it's evil, and the enemy loves that. So I really want to challenge you with that. And then what you're pouring into your mind. So books, sermons, podcasts, inspire yourself with testimonies of people who really have come from like the bottom and clawed their way to the top, right? I love that quote where it says, the person on the top of the mountain didn't fall there, right? How did they get there? They had to climb that mountain, and they had to get through cuts and bruises and scars and falling probably a million times. And I've failed forward so many times, and I've been stuck, and I've felt those things too, but just continuing to move forward. And this is the only way, you guys, that I have found that you can keep moving forward, and people can help lift you up. And of course, 100% with Jesus. Like, I don't know how people go through life without him. Like, he is the only one who helps me. So if you don't have him, I don't know how to help you very much. But yeah, and if you want to talk to me more about that, I can talk to you. But yeah, so that, hopefully this is helpful. And I really love sharing this with you. If this was beneficial, please let me know, because sometimes I go live and I'm like, oh gosh, and I'll get personal messages and people will say thank you. And I'm like, oh gosh, good. I'm glad it was for somebody and I didn't just talk my face off. And if this is beneficial, share it. I would love for you to share this with somebody who may bless. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.